Hello, folks, and welcome out to Georgia State Baseball Complex for opening day of the Sunbelt League here from Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Jacob Suever, and I am so excited to be bringing you this matchup today between the Gainesville Gol'Diggers and the home team Atlanta Blues. Again, coming in after a 13-19 season last year that saw them make an appearance in the semifinals. Happy to get to celebrate this opening day here from Georgia State Baseball Complex in Decatur, Georgia. And I hope you guys are excited as well for what should be a great season. And again, one of the natures of this league is that, again, you're in and you're out. It's a summer baseball league. You got kids from all over the place coming here and, again, showcasing their talents live on this field and just hoping to get to the next level. And that talent has been all over this field throughout the past couple weeks as this team filed in and made their first practices. But I'm excited to be here with you guys today on this fine Monday evening here, June 3rd. We've got partly cloudy skies, and we'll be getting started with some baseball here in just a couple moments as head coach Joe Austin and head coach Blake Davis converse with the umpiring crew here today. Again, I'm Jacob Suever coming to you live from Georgia State Baseball Complex, and we will be back with you shortly. Hello, folks, and once again, welcome back to Georgia State Baseball Complex, where we are here just in time for the announcements of today's starting lineups, and I'd be happy to take you guys through those as well. So, of course, with the Blues being the home team, that means that the Gol'Diggers will be the first to step up to the plate as we take a look at their starting lineup offensively. Leading off, it'll be Jaquez Walker in center field, followed by Zach Zavala at second base. Tyler Trish, the third baseman in that 3 spot. Of course, followed by Tanner Patterson at first. Noah Darden is the left fielder. Eli Poventude, the catcher. Daniel Bell behind him in right field, followed by Jackson Price and McKenna Peters, both there in the EH spots. And Jacob Bohacek, the shortstop, with Sahil Patel getting the start on the mound for the Gol'Diggers. And we're here just in time to take a look at the defense for the Blues and how they'll get things started here in this contest. Again, the Blues defense going to start from left to right. And here we go. It's going to be Davis on the mound. Dominic Davis getting the start here for the Blues. And talk a little bit about Davis. He's from San Ramon, California. Right-handed pitcher. Spent the last 2 seasons at Morehouse College and looking to improve his game here with the Blues. Also went to Monte Vista High School in Danville, California. And let's take a quick moment for the national anthem. We will be right back with you. Well, we're back here for some baseball, folks, and just about to get started here in the top of the first inning of today's matchup between the Atlanta Blues and the visiting Gainesville Gol'Diggers. And the Gol'Diggers going to get started here, sending their first 3 up to the plate. It'll be Walker, Zavala, and Trish on their way out here for the Gol'Diggers. And one last time, let's take a look at that Blues defense as well as that Gol'Digger starting lineup here. As we got Jaquez Walker, Zach Zavala, Tyler Trish, Tanner Patterson, followed by Noah Darden, Eli Poventude, and Daniel Bell. And then Jackson Price, McKenna Peters, and Jacob Bohachuk, the final 3 in the batting order. Of course, with Sahil Patel on the mound. And then, of course, we're about to get our first look at Dominic Davis here on the mound for the Blues. Like I said, went to Monte Vista High School in Danville, California, and brings his talent across the country here to Georgia, more specifically the Sunbelt League. Again, league that was founded in 2005 with the purpose of giving players a platform to showcase their talents. And Jock Walker will step up as the leadoff man, the center fielder and the left-hander to face the right-handed pitching Davis here in the first inning. And there's the first pitch of the Sunbelt League. Is in for a strike here in the top of the first inning. So we got an 0-1 count already here quickly. And now the count will go 0-2 as Davis using 2 fastballs there. Quickly getting ahead in the count to Jock Walker. Again, Davis pitched an inning in the scrimmage showcase that took place in the preseason and clearly had a chance to warm himself up as he puts Walker down on 3 strikes, and there's 1 out here in the top half of inning number 1. Hey, that's what you wanted, especially if you're Davis. You come out here, you get 3 quick strikes, and now you got to face Zavala, the second baseman, in the 2 spot. Getting ahead in the count is something that Davis likes to do. He understands the importance of it. As a matter of fact, Dom's the first guy that I had a chance to talk to when I came out here for my first practice with this team. And, I mean, he was here about maybe an hour and a half before the practice got started, just kind of hanging out, waiting to see what the final word on practice was going to be. It was a rainy day. A lot of clouds in the sky here tonight, but looks like most of the rain is out of the forecast. I mean, I was a tad bit worried in the days leading up here that we might have to deal with some rain surrounding opening day, but despite the storms last night, able to get started here right on time from Georgia State Baseball Complex. Here's a ground ball off the bat of Zavala, going to be bobbled by the first baseman Bradley, and can't get there in time. Ball's going to be thrown away and into the Gol'Diggers dugout, which will send Zavala to second base. So an E3 off the glove of Bradley over there at first base. As we get a fresh count, still 1 out, but now a runner on base. Tyler Trish going to get a chance here against Davis, and those plays can be frustrating. When you think you're out of it, you think you get the out. Would have been out number 2, but now you got a runner on second. Completely different situation here. First pitch upstairs, out of the hands of the right-hander. Can we talk about Bradley at first base? Making the mistake there, but doesn't make a lot of them. Also plays third base. Spent some time in the outfield in some of his previous teams that he's played with. And we'll talk about that once we see him come up to the plate here and hopefully the bottom of the first. Getting the start at first base here and also getting a spot in the 5 hole for the Blues. Swing and a miss. Nice curveball out of the hands of Davis, and that was the first time we've gotten to see that type of a breaking ball out of the hands of Davis. Davis trying to look to get back into this count. It's currently 2 balls and 1 strike. But puts one down in the dirt. And now it's 3 balls and a strike to Tyler Trish, the third baseman. Zavala reached on the error. He stands at second base. And now the infielders will converse here as Davis will take a breath of fresh air here. And if you put Trish on, it'll be first and second for Tanner Patterson, the Gol'Diggers first baseman. And that pitch going to be high and outside. So Davis puts him on. So Dominic Davis, who came out very quickly, striking out Jacquez Walker in 3 pitches, now going to allow Trish to walk. Now here's Tanner Patterson. Left-handed hitter. Pretty open stance in that left-handed batter's box, and Davis delivers one down low. I mean, again, just when you put someone down on 3 pitches like Davis did, you then get an error on your infield, it can definitely be a bit of a damper. Fastball outside, and Patterson fouls it off. Ball and a strike to the left-handed hitter. But as I was saying about Davis, I mean, I was talking to him before the start of that first practice. He said he's excited to just come to this team and hope to get a lot of good innings in this summer. Runners on the move. The 1-1 is outside, and the throw down is late. It's a double steal for the Gol'Diggers as they put 2 runners in scoring position. And it'll be a 2-ball, 1-strike count to the hitter, Patterson. I like the steal. I like the fact that they're putting some pressure on the Blues here early. Someone's going to have to make a play. Right now, Patterson ahead 2 balls to a strike. And now goes ahead 3-1 after that fastball was down low. Gol'Diggers already threatening early. And the 3-1 misses as well. So ball 4, the bases will be loaded. Davis already finding himself in a nasty situation here. And it looks like his catcher, Roman, going to come out and have a conversation with him. These are the times as a pitcher where you really just have something to prove. Cleanup hitter on the way up, or excuse me, number 5 hitter in Noah Darden, the left fielder. And at this point, again, you just got to do what you can and get the outs where you can. So Patterson walked after Trish's walk, and Zavala reached on the error. Batter is Noah Darden. And he sends one fouling out of play down the left field line. Squared up another fastball, but pushed it out of play, and the good news for Atlanta is that'll be strike 1. Davis could use a punch out. He's got 1 so far, but has walked 2 batters. Now he goes down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike to another lefty. Eli Perventude, the catcher, on deck for the Gol'Diggers. Ideally, the Blues could get a ground ball here, but a line drive and a base hit into left field. That'll score 1 as Zavala comes in from third base, and the bases will remain loaded. So the Gol'Diggers strike first, and the bases will still be loaded. That was a single from Noah Darden. Now the catcher, Poventude, will step up to try to keep this thing going for the Gol'Diggers. Again, the Blues are looking for a ground ball here. Still 1 away. Middle infield shaded up the middle, a double play depth, and a pitch delivered high and outside. It can be frustrating as a pitcher. You come out on opening day and you get that first strikeout, but then just like that, you're in the heat of it. And Davis is definitely feeling that here as he delivers a pitch called for a strike, a late call from the home plate umpire. Offensively for the Blues, it'll be Boynes, Bowens, and Cam Taylor, the first 3 to step up in the bottom half of this inning. But now we're going to get a breaking ball that gets away from Davis. And you can see the frustration on his face a little bit. And if I'm head coach Joe Austin, this might be a moment where I send someone to go have a conversation with Davis. Again, there are a lot of emotions here, being that it's opening day. You've got a really, really talented team in the Gol'Diggers in town. So Darden goes to second, Patterson goes to third, and Trish scores. 2-0 lead for the Gol'Diggers here in the top of the first. But a quick strike delivered here to Daniel Bell, the right fielder, stepping up. Jackson Price, the designated hitter, stands on deck as we get a foul ball and an 0-2 count. Davis, for the first time since facing Walker to lead off this ball game, is going to have a 0-2 count. Looking for his second punch out. And a nice off-speed pitch. Gets the swing and a miss. And a strikeout. That'll be out number 2. But keep in mind, the bases are still loaded for Jackson Price, who steps up here. Davis has been using the off-speed well, for the exception of that one that kind of got away from him. Curveball that ended up hitting Perventude and allowing a run to score. So now an 0-1 count to get things started to Jackson Price. Darden's at second. Patterson's at third. Darden, for his credit, singled in a run. And a big swing and a miss from Jackson Price. As Davis gets ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Trying to strike out the side here. Goes upstairs and Price doesn't bite. And again, even with 2 outs and you're pitching with runners on base, I mean, it can be frightening up there as a pitcher, just knowing that, 2 runs could easily score on a base hit. You're looking at maybe giving up 3, but doesn't matter as Davis gets it done and strikes out Jackson Price. So despite allowing those 2 runs, Davis gets through it, gets the 3rd out, and we're finally going to the bottom of the 1st. We've got a 2-0 lead for the visiting Gainesville Gol'Diggers, and we will be right back with you here in just a moment from Georgia State Baseball Complex. Hello, folks, and welcome back to Georgia State Baseball Complex for the bottom half of the 1st inning as the Atlanta Blues are going to get their first crack at offense here in 2024. As we take a look here at the defense for the Gol'Diggers as well as the Blues starting batting lineup. As we see, we got Chase Boynes, Miles Bowens, Cam Taylor, Paul Green, Sam Bradley, Chandler Hicks, Landon Leonard, Andy Roman III, Bryson Suever, and Christopher Gazzaldo due up. And, of course, we got our first look at Dominic Davis back in that top half of the 1st. Gave up 2 runs, but came up with 3 strikeouts. So now we're going to get a first look at Sahil Patel. Sahil Patel, the left-handed starting pitcher out here for the Gol'Diggers. And he's going to look to just come in and keep things at bay. And Gol'Diggers, they have led from pretty early on here, so he's got one job to do, and that's get outs. And thank you guys so much for joining us here as we broadcast Sunbelt League baseball. And now we're going to get our first look at Peyton Chase Boynes. And let's take a look at what he did at Palm Beach State College, hitting .388 with 64 hits and 4 home runs last year. A graduate of North Atlanta High School, moved to Palm Beach State from ABAC. Again, graduate of North Atlanta, another guy from right here in this area. And he takes a swing at the first pitch and puts it on the ground. It's gobbled up by the shortstop. That was Jacob Bohacek, and gets the put out at first base. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Sahil Patel, and a similar start in the sense that both teams able to go out and get a quick out. Now it's Miles Bowens, tall left-hander. Stepping into the plate here. Another Georgia native from Stone Mountain. Currently showcasing his talents at Southern University at New Orleans. Also a graduate of Tucker High School right here in Georgia. Getting his first crack here in Sunbelt baseball. Actually, that is a misstep, as Bowens was a part of this Atlanta Blues team last year. Actually a very crucial member of this squad. One of a couple returning players in this starting lineup today. He's behind 0-2. And Patel came out, quickly got the put away of Chase Boynes on a ground out to the shortstop. And now ahead 0-2 here to Miles Bowens, looking to be the first base runner for the Blues. But a fastball and a swing and a miss. That had some heat on it. And Bowens went down swinging, so that's the first strikeout for Patel, and now there's 2 outs. Your extra hitter, Cam Taylor. Now here's Cam Taylor stepping up to the plate. Cam Taylor, I was reading a little bit about him. Taylor is currently playing at Eastern Kentucky. Went to Stevenson High School. He's from Lithonia, Georgia. Part of the DeKalb County All-Team region and received a Golden Glove during his high school career. Ahead in the count here, 2 balls to no strikes. Left-hander tried to go upstairs, and Taylor left it alone. So he likes to lift and says if he could do one thing for the rest of his life, it's play baseball, and I'm sure a lot of these Sunbelt athletes would agree. So a 3-0 count to Cam Taylor here after the Bowens ground out and the Bowens strikeout. And upstairs, ball 4. So Taylor's going to get to take a free pass over to first base. And that's the first base runner here for the Blues. Now Paul Green, PJ Green. Let me tell you something about this guy. I remember my first practice out here about a week or 2 ago with the Blues, and I was watching batting practice, and this guy was up at the plate, and I saw the way he was hitting the baseball, and I was thinking, man, this is going to be a fun season if everyone is raking like the way that Paul was in batting practice. Ahead in the count, 1 balls and no strikes. Patel was cruising until he allowed the walk of Cam Taylor, now behind a ball and no strike, and actually balked on that play. So that'll allow Taylor to move up to second base. So PJ Green went to Sandy Creek High School and had quite the career there. Not only as a baseball player, but also as a basketball player. Back-to-back state championships with the school. Also won an Athlete of the Year award. Don't even get me started on his resume in baseball as he fouls off that 1-1 pitch. 2 outs here as the Blues look to break into the scoring column. Still looking for their first hit of the night. Again, talk about Dom Davis in that first inning. Really just the walks that caused him problems. Only allowed 1 hit. Currently a 2-0 Gainesville lead. But Atlanta with a runner in scoring position. That's Cam Taylor. One-two on the way to PJ Green. And that one's going to sail over the catcher and allow Cam Taylor to move up 90 feet. And that'll be a 2-2 count here as well. Just a pitch that might have slipped out of the hands of Patel there. Working in the favor of the Blues, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. PJ Green, again, committed to Mizzou as a 2-way player and just trying to, again, showcase his talents here in the Sunbelt League. Big opportunity here. Ground ball in the hole between third and short. Going to be gloved by Bohacek, and the throw across the diamond just in time. A beautiful play by Jacob Bohacek in the deep hole at shortstop to gun down PJ Green. That'll take us to the top of the second inning. It's still a 2-0 lead for Gainesville here. And we will see you in just a moment. Here we are back for inning number 2 of Game 1 of the Atlanta Blues season here in the Sunbelt League. I'm Jacob Suever. So far, it's all positives for Gainesville as they're ahead 2-0. Took advantage of the 5 base runners that they were able to put on in the top half of the first. Dominic Davis trying to come in here and change things up as he delivers a first pitch strike in there to the hitter. It's going to be McKenna Peters, the extra hitter tonight. And a curveball that gets in and hits the batter, so McKenna Peters will be the second batter tonight, hit by a pitch. Davis just another curveball that kind of got away from him.
Shortstop, Jacob Boacek.
So he's going to try to come back here as Boacek, the right-handed shortstop, steps in here. First pitch going to be down low for ball 1. So another base runner here for Gainesville. Again, Davis walked 2 guys back in that first. Now his second hit by pitch, just trying to gain control of that breaking ball as he delivers a fastball strike. Peters takes the lead off of first base. Now he's going to get checked at first, and they've got a chance, and they've picked him off. Dominic Davis with a quick snap throw over to Bradley at first, and he lays the tag down on Peters. That's a way to clear the bases and really help yourself get into a better situation, as there is now 1 out, as I update that graphic for you guys. Still showing the 2 outs from the previous inning. But a heads-up play by Dom Davis and a nice tag by Bradley to catch Peters diving back into first. Now that one's going to be down in the dirt. So the count will go to 2 balls and a strike here on Boacek, who continues his at-bat. And again, as minuscule as they may seem, plays like that can just completely change your mindset as a pitcher. I mean, again, it was just a curveball that got away from Davis that allowed Peters to reach. And then you just completely erase that mistake by making a really nice play. So credit to Dominic Davis for that out. He's been responsible for all the putouts so far tonight. 3 strikeouts in the first. Two pitches dribbled down the first baseline, but just foul. Again, happy to have some nice weather out here on a beautiful Monday evening for Sunbelt opening day. Like I mentioned earlier, it looked like we might be facing some storms around this time. Here's a ground ball up the middle and a base hit off the bat of Bohacek. So another runner on base. But fortunately for Davis, was able to get the put out of Peters. So still only one man on.
Center fielder, Jock Walker.
So with one out, we're back to the top of the order here in the second inning as Jock Walker steps up. Was the first strikeout victim of Davis in this game. And takes the first pitch upstairs, ball one. Zavala stands on deck. He scored the first run of the day for Gainesville. Reached on an error by Bradley. Now we're going to get a balk issued against Davis, who looks completely confused on the call. Looks like they're going to say it might have been something about his shoulder. Turning and trying to take the peek. As he'll take a moment and tuck in that uniform. Blues coming out with the pinstripes. Got white shirt, white pants with that blue lettering. With the yellow outline as well as the navy hats. So 1 ball, no strike. Here to Jock Walker. And this one's going to sail over the catcher. They're going to have a shot at third. It bounced back hard off the backstop. And I thought that Roman might have had a chance to throw him out at third. For now, it's going to be a wild pitch. Tax to Davis. A 2-0 count here to Walker. And a runner now on third base. Here's a swing, and that's going to allow a run to score as Walker took a hack at that pitch. Might have been the hit and run. Ball gets past the catcher, Roman. And Dominic Davis down there having a conversation with the home plate umpire. I think he might still be confused on why he was called for that balk earlier on that last play that allowed the runner to advance to second, and since then he has come all the way across to score the Gol'Diggers' third run. So now it's going to be a 3-0 count, still one away here in the inning. And that one's going to be high for ball 4. Davis just got to take a deep breath and work with the strike zone. Here comes Joe Austin. Have seen some action in that bullpen already, and we'll see if he thinks it's time to make a change here. Also, the game started with a strikeout, and then an error on the first baseman allowed Zavala to reach back in that first inning. Yep, and it looks like this will be it for Dominic Davis, as we're going to get a new pitcher to enter the game, and if I am not mistaken, I believe that will be Tyler Duchesne. We're going to get our first look at him here in this contest when we come back in just a brief moment. Welcome back here, folks, and let me go ahead and introduce you to our new pitcher, Tyler Duchesne. And again, I think you guys are going to like this. Tyler Duchesne, a little bit of submarine action from the right-hander, and if I know this correctly, he's also got a pretty nice knuckleball, so hopefully he gets the chance to showcase both of those pitches here. By the way, the Gol'Diggers have runners on first and third, as the batter, Zach Zavala, trying to bring in a few more runs of insurance here as he faces a 1-1 count. Duchesne, right-handed pitcher from Buford, Georgia, graduated from Buford High School. Also likes to golf in his free time. Interesting. Got some of those releases kind of look like a golf swing, if you will. But man, am I excited to see this knuckleball action. So 2 balls and a strike to Zach Zavala. Runners are at first and third here. And that pitch gets away, and Walker on to second base. Looks like I was mistaken. Only runners, at least now, is going to be at second base, as Bohacek actually did score on that pass ball. So Duchesne comes in here to replace Davis. By the way, final totals for him: 1 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 2 hits. He did pick up 3 strikeouts. And now it'll be runners at first and second as Zavala walks. Duchesne having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone here early in his appearance. And that'll make way for Tyler Trish, the third baseman for the Gol'Diggers, as he steps into that right-handed batter's box. He walked in his first plate appearance and takes a first pitch strike. Another thing with the submarine pitchers, an advantage that they're able to gain is just the movement that is on every pitch. Again, kind of the same thing you think about with that left-handed two-seam fastball. You kind of get the same action where every pitch almost comes out looking like a sinker. And if you can throw that pitch effectively, that can mean really good things. And Duchesne is definitely a pitcher that can find the zone, and I've seen him rolling in that bullpen. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, as Duchesne picks up his first strikeout. It's Trish that falls victim this time. That'll be the 4th strikeout of the game for the Blues as a team, which is really saying something considering they've only picked up a total of 5 outs so far. So 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. And here's Tanner Patterson. Also walked in his first plate appearance here. Now he digs in. Looking to drive in a run or 2 here for the Gol'Diggers. They're already ahead 3-0. Runners on the move. Throw from Roman down to third is right there, and a beautiful play. But they're going to say that the runner, Walker, got in under the tag. So another successful double steal for the Gol'Diggers. We'll put 2 runners in scoring position here. And a 2-0 count to Patterson. Noah Darden, the left fielder, stands on deck. One of 2 players to have a base hit for the Gol'Diggers. It was Bohacek here in the second and Darden back in the first. Now a 3-ball, no strike count to the hitter Patterson. And this one's going to be down for ball 4. It also gets away, and Walker comes in to score. The 4th run for the Gol'Diggers. The runners will be at first and third base. The Blues just having some trouble getting outs here. It's not like the Gol'Diggers have been hitting the ball hard, like I mentioned. They've just been taking advantage of all these base runners. Patterson has now walked twice. And here's Noah Darden, 1 for 1 with a single. First pitch is grounded back to the mound. Duchesne bobbles, but fires to first. And they're going to say Bradley made the play and got the foot down. So the Blues are able to get the 3 outs they need, but another 2 on the board for the Gol'Diggers as we head to the bottom half of the second. 4-0 lead. Well, we're here back for the bottom of the second inning from Georgia State Baseball Complex, and the Blues have some work to do. They trail 4-0, and like I mentioned in the previous inning, the Gol'Diggers haven't really been hitting the ball that hard. It's really just been a matter of taking advantage of every base runner. They've been scoring on wild pitches, stealing bases, so things are just going in their favor right now, and the Blues trying to awaken their offense, and that's going to start with Sam Bradley. Sam Bradley, a left-handed hitter from Hoshton, Georgia. As we take a look at Sam Bradley's high school career, hit .483 last year with 43 hits and 8 home runs at Jackson County High School. And also, we've got a 2-time Region Player of the Year. Won the award in both 2022 and 2024. And not only an athlete, but a scholar as well. 4.0 unweighted GPA in high school. So the freshman at Northwest Florida State College plays first, third, and outfield, so he's got a versatile profile, and he's going to try to get the Blues going here in the bottom half of inning number 2. But before that, looks like some mound maintenance being done out there. Looks like might have to fix up the mound a little bit here, as Sahil Patel likely noticed something and said, hey, let's get some new dirt out here. That's exactly what they're going to do here as we await the first pitch of the bottom half of the second inning. Blues put one man on. It was Cam Taylor, who took a walk with 2 outs in the first, got all the way to third, and then P.J. Green grounded out on a nice play by the Gol'Digger shortstop, Jacob Bohacek. So now it looks like they're going to give Patel a couple extra moments to throw some warm-up pitches here. Honestly, I'm all for it. Gives Bradley a couple more chances to lock in here before his at-bat. I mean, Bradley is the kind of guy that you want stepping up and sparking your lineup here in a 4-0 game like this. I'm sure they're just looking for any way to get base runners on and get them across. Maybe 1 or 2 more warm-up pitches, and then we should be ready for baseball. But again, I'm just so excited to be here with you guys and get the chance to follow this team around and just hopefully watch them come together and grow, and hopefully we see some of these guys again that are, whether it be JUCO ball or D1 college baseball, whatever it may be. Just hoping that they can get some good looks in this summer. And now that all that's taken care of, we're ready for baseball again. 4-0 lead for the visiting Gainesville Gol'Diggers. The Atlanta Blues sending Sam Bradley up to the plate here to try to get things going. First pitch from Patel is a swing and a miss strike. Might have gone with a changeup there. Didn't have enough zip to be a fastball. And he's ahead, no balls and a strike to Bradley. Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate, just missing the zone. As we hear a couple whoops from the crowd on that pitch. This one going to get in on the wrist of Bradley. And they're going to say that it hit his bat. And to be honest, that's what it sounded like. He's going to contest with the umpire, but to no avail. Here comes Joe Austin to try to figure out why that call was a foul ball as opposed to a hit by pitch. But for now, it'll be a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And now the umpire's taking a look at Bradley, trying to find the mark on his wrist. And they're going to say that there's no visible mark. That's funny. So the home plate umpire went to Bradley and said, hey, lift up your batting glove and let's see the mark. So no mark and no hit by pitch. And now a beautiful curveball from Patel is going to sit down Bradley. That was a looping curveball that dropped in for strike 3 right on the inside part of the plate to the left-hander. That'll be his second strikeout. I'm sure Bradley wishes he had done a little bit more convincing. But the home plate umpire said, nope. I don't see a mark, so that means it didn't hit you. I mean, I get the logic there. Honestly, I do. 1 ball and no strike to Chandler Hicks. The center fielder as he rolls one over on the ground to the second base, gobbled up by Zavala. And the put out at first. So 2 away here in the bottom of the second inning. Atlanta still looking for their first hit. We'll see if it can belong to Landon Leonard. Leonard went to Dutchtown High School, plays at Manhattan College. Or previously played at Manhattan, undecided for the upcoming season. Steps up here for his first at-bat, takes the ball down low. This is a guy that hit .467 in his senior year at Dutchtown, along with a .500 average in region. Another guy on this team that's well-traveled as well, having visited 3 countries. Said he's played baseball for the last 14 years or so, and we're happy to have his talents here in Atlanta. More specifically here at Georgia State Baseball Complex. And the 1-1 pitch going to be called for strike 2, I believe. Looked like it might have caught that inside corner. It's 2 strikes to Leonard. No, I was mistaken. 2 balls to Leonard. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. I thought I heard that emphatic sound from the home plate umpire saying strike 2, but I guess I was mistaken. And now Leonard ahead 3 balls and a strike as this one gets away from Patel. Fastball catching that same spot as the 1-1 pitch, and this time called for a strike. And back to Leonard. This is another one of those guys that not only is he an athlete, but a scholar as well. On a roll every year in high school. But fanning at that 3-2 pitch. It's another strikeout for Patel. That'll be his 3rd in a quick 1-2-3 inning for Gainesville. As we're going to go to the top of the 3rd, Gainesville leading it 4-0.
Your Atlanta Blues would like to thank the following partners for their support.
And welcome back here for the start of the third inning of action here from Georgia State Baseball Complex. And Eli Perventon going to step up and lead off here for the Gol'Diggers in the third inning. Their offense has been on fire already, and they've done it with only 2 hits, 4 runs. And taking advantage of walks and base runners. Now a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Pervitude. And by the way, back out for another inning of work, Tyler Duchesne. Came in with 1 away in the second. Now picks up where he left off. 1-1 gets away, 2 balls and a strike. And Duchesne, again, you really like the release point. You love the mix of pitches. There's a lot of things to like about his game. And if all that can really come together, just finding the spots, I mean, I think this could be a really, really solid pitcher this summer, especially for a team that, I mean, when you're playing 4 games a week, you want things to be as open as possible in terms of your options. And Duchesne is just another guy that I think could pick up a large load of innings and really be a good arm to have in that bullpen. Here's one grounded over to third. Nice pickup, and a fling over to first is made. It was Landon Leonard connecting with, looks like we've got a defensive change over at first base. That was Cam Taylor moving over to first as Bradley exits the contest.
Right fielder Daniel Bell.
So it looks like Cam Taylor is now at first base, and that's the first out of the top half of the third inning here. Now a 1-ball, no-strike count to Daniel Bell. That was a great play by Leonard over there at third base. And then an even better scoop by Taylor. Now a 2-ball, no-strike count to the batter, Daniel Bell. Struck out in his last plate appearance. 2-0 was fouled away. 2 balls and a strike to count. So Taylor, who started the game in the EH spot, likely just being swapped with Bradley at first base defensively, trying to get them both some reps over at first. Joe Austin told these guys, he said, you know, we're going to try to get you some opportunities, and if you can hit the ball, well, then you're going to be in the lineup. 3 balls and 1 strike to the right fielder. This one going to get in and catch him on the leg. Another hit by pitch and another base runner for the Gol'Diggers. Even more specifically, another base runner without a hit.
Designated hitter Jackson Price.
So here comes Jackson Price, the designated hitter. Price also fell victim to a Dominic Davis strikeout back in the first inning. Here's one down. And again, another thing that I noticed in the practices that I was able to attend at the beginning of this season, you know, owner Terry Johnson was very upfront about how this team would be created, but hold that thought. Tyler Duchesne showing off the move as now he has picked off a runner at first base. So now both pitchers that have entered the game for Atlanta have picked off a runner. So now there's going to be 2 outs in the inning. Well, that sure is helpful. And now a 1-ball, no-strike count to the batter, Jackson Price. But what I was saying is, again, very upfront with just how the team would be constructed in terms of, you know, how many infielders that we're going to keep, how many outfielders, how many pitchers we're going to be working with, and what those expectations were. And again, when you're constructing a team and you're trying to find guys that can work well together and that can complete a lineup, there's so many different factors that you're looking at. And, you know, these guys had a couple weeks to come out here and practice and prove what they've got. And just really excited to finally be at opening day and get to see these guys in action. Unfortunately, the Gol'Diggers ahead 4-0 here, so the Blues with some work to do. Tyler Deshane looking to put out Jackson Price, but he's down 3-1. And Price will take the walk. So he'll reach base with 2 outs. And here's McKenna Peters.
Extra hitter, McKenna Peters.
Peters was picked off of first base in that second inning by Davis. Now steps up here with a runner at first. But one of the other things that I've really enjoyed so far about this team is just, coming out to practice and interacting with Mr. Johnson. And, having him tell me about the past years. And I believe this is the 4th year of Mr. Johnson owning this team. And I love the fact that he's always here on scene, working with the players, having conversation. He's played a major role in this organization's development, and that's for sure. The 2-0 pitch is outside. Fastball from Deshane, and that's going to be a 3-0 count to Peters. Looks like we've got a little bit of action down that line in the bullpen. And now ball 4. So back-to-back walks put runners at first and second here for the Gol'Diggers as they continue to try to build on a 4-0 lead. Here comes Bohacek. And now we're going to get a timeout taken here by the Blues as they're going to have a conversation on the mound here. So 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd inning. So far, the Gol'Diggers were able to score in both the first and second innings, 2 runs apiece in each.
Shortstop, Jacob Bohacek.
So Bohacek steps up with Price at second and Peters at first. Deshane from the set, here with runners on base. First pitch is sent deep to center field. Back goes Hicks, and he'll make the catch. So the Blues able to navigate this 3rd inning, not allow a run here, and they'll come up to bat in the bottom half of the 3rd, still in search of their first base hit of the contest. And we will be right back here. Again, this is Sunbelt Baseball with the Atlanta Blues between the Gainesville Gol'Diggers. We'll be right back. So we're back here for the bottom half of the 3rd inning of action here from Georgia State Baseball Complex, and Andy Roman will step up, the catcher for the Blues, here to lead things off. Only 1 base runner so far in the contest for Atlanta. Haven't had their first hit of the game yet. The Gol'Diggers only have 2 hits, but 4 runs. A lot of walks have really doomed the Blues pitching staff. Gol'Diggers were able to get Dominic Davis out of here pretty quickly. Only pitched 1 1/3 innings. And then DeShane took over then and has been pitching pretty well. A couple of strikeouts for the right-handed submarine pitcher. Now we got a broken bat right at the third baseman. Allen hustling down the line, and the throw in time over to first base. A nice play by the third baseman, Tyler Trish, despite having a piece of lumber flying at him through the air. Now we're going to get Bryson Suever, the shortstop, up for his first at-bat. I would have thought that Roman would have had enough time to get down that first baseline as Trish was forced to kind of stay back and dodge the bat. And you forget that aspect sometimes. You don't expect to be playing dodgeball out here. A lot tougher when there's a piece of wood flying at you. But he made the play. And now a no ball, 2 strike count to Bryson Suever. The 0-2 pitch is going to be high and out for ball 1. Suever is a middle infielder from Lithonia, Georgia. Played at USC Lancaster this last year and hit .307 with 7 home runs. Also had 42 RBI and 42 hits in that season. Reaching base at about a .445 mark. Not bad for the right-hander. 2-2 misses high and out, and a good eye by Suever. That one just missing that outside part of the zone in a full count. See if he can work his way on base here and put some pressure on Patel. And that one's down in the dirt, ball 4. A nice at-bat from the right-hander. We'll see if that can get something going for the Blues. Only their second base runner of the contest, and here's Christopher Gazzaldo, the second baseman. Already here in the third inning, trailing by 4. I mean, this is about the time where you want to start making something happen. And after Gazzaldo, of course, back to the top of the lineup with Peyton Chase Boynes, the EH. And then Bowens behind him. First pitch, a heater on the outside part of the plate. Again, the Blues looking for a strong season. And despite a losing record last year, again, making it to the Sunbelt semifinals. So definitely some expectations for this ball club. And some changes across the league as well. Of course, with the news that the Braves relocating their AA affiliate from Pearl, Mississippi over to Columbus, Georgia, more specifically to the former venue of the Columbus Chattahoots, a former team in the Sunbelt. Pretty notable team as well. So they're no longer in the league. But the Chocolaco Monsters out in Oxford, Alabama, they're back in the Sunbelt. Now we're going to get a balk, as it looks like Patel might have not come set on that previous pitch. It's 2-1. And that allows Suever to advance to second. So the Blues threatening with a runner in scoring position, and the batter is Gazzaldo. Back to what I was saying, I was definitely disappointed at the news. I was excited to go out to Golden Park and call some Atlanta Blues baseball. Here's one skied out to center field, and that'll be handled easily by Walker out there in center. 2 outs now and a fresh count. We're at the top of the order for Chase Boynes. Rounded out in his first at-bat. Suever at second. This would be a perfect time for the first hit of the night for the Blues. Here's one laced foul down the third base line. And Boynes has had quite the college career. Again, he's from College Park, went to North Atlanta. Most recently played JUCO ball at Palm Beach State and had just tons of success there. Part of the first team All-Sun Lakes last year. Now here's one that gets down and in and hits the batter. So that'll be a free pass for Boynes down to first. But unfortunately, that means Suever has to stay put at second. So first and second. Now it's Miles Bowen stepping up for his second at-bat. Struck out in his first at-bat. So a lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Patel with a bit of an advantage as far as that goes. First pitch in for a strike. Again, Bowens played with this team last year. Sends off the 0-1. Foul back and into the net for strike two. So Bowens quickly finding himself in a hole. See if he can turn this at-bat around and fight something off into the outfield. Get some runs up on that board. This one just missing the plate. Might have been a bit low. Bowens decides to hold off. Now it's a 1-2 count. Here's one laced at the shortstop, but a nice pickup and a flip to second in time. So defense holds strong for the Gol'Diggers here in the bottom of the third inning. Despite a couple of base runners for the Blues, still a 0 on the scoreboard. It's 4-0 Gainesville. Back, folks. Jock Walker steps up to lead things off here in the top of the fourth, and we've got a ground ball handled by Deshane, but it's going to go as an infield hit. Nice hustle by Jock Walker, hustling down that line, getting to first base, and he'll represent the first base runner for the Gol'Diggers here in this inning. How about that? Put a swing on the baseball, it goes about 5 feet, and we're able to snag 90 feet out of it. Here's Zach Zavala. Deshane's still out there on the mound for the Blues. First pitch is a called strike. Throw down to second is there, but the tag comes a bit late. So Walker reaches on an infield hit and then snags second on the very first pitch here to Zavala. So it'll be a no ball, 1 strike count. as that one just caught the bottom part of the plate. That one inside. Again, if Deshane can locate, I mean, he'll be quite the effective pitcher. I mean, I can say this from experience. When you're in that batter's box, especially righty on righty, it can be really tough to see where that ball's going to end up coming out of that hand. 1-1 is fouled back. It'll be a 1-2 count. Walker dancing around at second base, trying to get in the head of Deshane a little bit. But a big pitch coming here. Deshane looking for his second strikeout here. That one just missing the zone. Looks like a changeup. Kind of ended up in the bottom part of the plate, but missing the zone. Zavala so far 0 for 1, but did reach base back in the first on the error by Bradley. Walked in his plate appearance back in the second, now here in the fourth facing a full count. Runner at second is Jock Walker. Led off the inning with an infield single. Payoff here on the way from Deshane. And this one misses outside, ball 4. So now it'll be first and second, still with nobody out here in the top half of inning number 4.
Third baseman, Tyler Trish.
Here's Tyler Trish. 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second. Deshane looking to do the same thing here. Now we're going to get a timeout. Looks like we might have had a baseball come in from that bullpen. That'll tend to happen. No fencing separating that bullpen from the rest of the field down that left field line. So every once in a while, you'll see a ball just kind of skip down the line and end up somewhere in the backstop. Now the first pitch from Deshane. This one missing the outside part of the plate. Deshane has been around the plate quite a bit, especially on that outside part. Not getting that call, though. Zone has moved around just a little bit, but still a decent amount of consistency from the home plate umpire. Now a 2-ball, no strike count. And it looks like the shortstop Suever going to come in and have a word with Deshane. Not sure what that conversation exactly is about. But Deshane ready to deliver this 2-0 pitch here to Tyler Trish. I can imagine that conversation went something along the lines of, hey, just take a deep breath. Defensively, we got you. Just find that strike zone. Walks have already been the story of this game, as the Gol'Diggers have already scored 4 runs on just 3 hits. None of those have left the park. This time a called strike. Deshane finds the zone on that one. I mean, talk about nothing having left the park. 3 singles so far for the Gol'Diggers, and one of those didn't leave the infield. Now a 3-ball, 1 strike count. Deshane, that same pitch, just kind of down and out a little bit. And of course, that first inning error by Sam Bradley didn't help things out. Davis came in, got a quick 1-2-3 strikeout to start the game, and then things just kind of fell apart a little bit from there. Now here we'll get another full count as Deshane finds the outside part of the zone. Still nobody out with runners at first and second for the Gol'Diggers. Here's one sent foul. First baseman's going to give it a run, and that, I believe it'll be tracked down. Yes, it will. Hard for me to see around the trees here But a nice play that time made by the first baseman, Cam Taylor. Able to track that baseball down, and I'm sure Deshane's happy about it. There's one out. So neither runner advances. And here's Tanner Patterson. Patterson has walked in both of his plate appearances so far today. And Deshane goes outside with a fastball. Zavala is the runner at first base here for the Gol'Diggers, and Walker at second. Led off with that infield single, and now both runners will advance as that pitch got away from the catcher. It was down in the dirt, so it'll go on Deshane. 2-ball, no strike count, and now second and third for Gainesville. And if this was like a 4-2 game, 4-1 even, I think that this would be an entirely different situation for the Blues. In terms of how, again, I mean, there's not really much of a difference in terms of how they've been hitting. It's just really come down to walks versus not. Here's one grounded over to first. Nice play made by Cam Taylor. They'll tag the runner, and now they've got somebody in a rundown between second and third, but they're going to throw it into center field. Cam Taylor made a nice play, snagging that ground ball and tagging the base runner for out number 2. But a run will score anyway as he tried to pick off Zach Zavala, who ultimately ends up at third base. So 5-0 Gainesville, and that is just unfortunate considering you could have had out number 3 right in your hands. Zavala was running on the contact and then saw that Walker had held up at third. And unfortunately, Taylor threw the ball away. Now a 1-ball, no strike count to Noah Darden. And this is something that I'm sure that Coach Joe Austin is going to talk about in their next practice. Cutting down on those mistakes. Both errors coming at third base so far. Or excuse me, first base so far. It was Bradley back in the first inning, and now Taylor with the mistake here in the fourth, but just got to forget about it and move on. 3-0 to Darden as Eli Perventude, the catcher, stands on deck. And here's another walk. Yeah, being able to throw strikes is obviously very valuable for a pitcher. But when you're unable to find the zone, it can just be so damaging. As we see here now, runners on the corners for the Gol'Diggers. As a team, they have now walked 6 batters. That does not include any hit by pitches. First pitch fouled back by Perventude. And I mean, these innings that drag, and when you're on defense and you're standing out there in the field for long periods of time, it can just be a little bit draining. Here's the runner that goes and a throw down to second. Now they throw it back to the plate. It was Zavala that snagged home on the throw down to second, and he scores on the play. How about that for Gainesville? They just continue to take advantage. The throw down to second, no shot to get the runner there, but they almost had a play at the plate. Roman unable to get the tag in. So now the runner's at second base, and the count is 1-1. 6-0 game after that play. 1-1 is fouled off of his foot. It'll be 1 ball, 2 strikes. Deshane looking for his second strikeout. We'll see if he can get Pervin to default victim here. McDonald will have to face Daniel Bell, who stands in the on-deck circle. Here's a line drive out to left field. That'll take Paul Green back, who makes the catch for out number 3. But another 2 runs on the board here for the Gol'Diggers as they go ahead 6-0. And we'll go to the bottom half of the 4th inning here and see if the Blues have something to say about it. Hello, fans. We're here back for the bottom half of inning number 4, and it's going to be Cam Taylor to lead things off here. Taylor reached base on a walk in his last at-bat, and is going to try to spark the lineup here for the Blues, who trail 6-0, and he does just that. Line drive and a base hit up the middle. It's a single for Cam Taylor, and that'll be the first hit for the Blues tonight. How about that? You pass that mark, and let's see if they can start putting some runners on base here. So now it's going to be P.J. Green. Grounded out to the shortstop in his first plate appearance. Steps up here in a big spot. And when you talk about the grand scheme of the game, again, each at-bat is just a small part of the entire thing. But even in a 6-0 game, I mean, if you start to make a comeback, you can really trace that back to one moment. And if P.J. Green can do something here, that might be a moment to remember for the Atlanta Blues. A 1-1 strike count. Green the batter. Sam Bradley stands on deck. He's looking for some redemption. And the runner, Cam Taylor, at first. Looks like they're going to call another balk here. So that'll allow Taylor to move up to second. And a 1-1 count here to Paul Green. This isn't the first time that Patel has balked tonight. They've called him about 3 times for the same thing. Leaves that one upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. So if Green can reach, you'll then have to get through Bradley, Hicks, and Leonard. Again, this Blues lineup is stacked with talent. Just haven't been hitting the baseball tonight. Credit Sahil Patel. He's been pitching very well. Green looking to get a hold of one here on this 3-1 pitch. Instead, will reach base as that pitch was high in the zone. So now the first 2 base runners have reached here in this 4th inning. And here comes Sam Bradley. Struck out looking back in the 2nd. And this is another guy that, again, in addition to his resume, I was watching him in batting practice in the days leading up to tonight, and this guy can hit the ball hard. So it looks like we're going to get a new pitcher out here for the Gol'Diggers, and I will be happy to introduce the new arm on the mound for Gainesville when we come back in just a moment. New pitcher on the mound here for Gainesville is going to be Ian Anderson, the right-handed pitcher. And no, not the Major League pitcher, Ian Anderson, which that has made it quite difficult to find more tidbits on the career of this Ian Anderson. But I can tell you where he's from Iron Mountain, Michigan. Undecided on where he'll be playing this year, but currently a senior. Going to be throwing from the right side, 6'1", 215 for the right-hander Anderson. And he enters a tough situation. Runners on first and second here for the Blues. Trailing 6-0, so they're definitely looking for some runs here. And Sam Bradley, the batter, stepping up to the plate. Started the game at first base and then traded spots with Cam Taylor, but remained in the game as a hitter. First pitch is going to miss upstairs at the hands of Anderson. So Bradley ahead, 1 ball, no strikes. The Blues have struggled all game with putting runners on base and doing anything with them. Threatened a little bit back in the 3rd, but unable to put anything up on the scoreboard. Perfect opportunity here as Bradley already ahead 2-0. 2-0 count here from Anderson to Bradley. And he checked his swing. They're going to say he went around. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Bradley in his high school career, not only did he hit a lot of home runs, but was just always on base, always putting the ball in play and hits the ball hard. This one's going to be grounded. It's a fair ball out in front of the plate, and that'll advance both base runners. But now we're going to get a timeout, as I believe they're going to go back and say, no, foul ball. Good hustle by Bradley. Saw where that ball ended up and hustled it out anyway. So it'll be a 2-2 count here to the first baseman. Green the runner at first, Taylor at second. Taylor started the inning with a single up the middle. That was back when Sahil Patel was still in the game, and now Anderson takes over on the mound. 2-2 is driven deep to right center field, and that's back. It's going to get down for an extra base hit. Here comes Taylor rounding third. He will score. Green being sent home and will score with no throw. It's a double for Sam Bradley, and the Blues have broken into the scoring column. A pitch up in the zone, and Bradley drove it deep to right center field. Walker, with a lot of speed, chased that ball back towards the 385 sign, and it dropped just about 10 feet in front of the wall. That's the second hit of the night for the Blues, and the first time Bradley's been on base. So it's a 6-2 game here. And Chandler Hicks, the center fielder, steps up. I'm sure Austin is happy with his first baseman. Bradley went up to Coach Joe. He said, Coach, you going to let me hit this year? And Coach said, absolutely. If you're driving the ball, you'll be in the lineup. And that's what he told everyone else, too. Safe to say Bradley off to a good start after striking out in his first plate appearance. So the 0-1 pitch here, missing the zone. It'll be a ball and 1 strike to Chandler Hicks. Hicks grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat. That was back in the second inning. Blues with a little bit of momentum here. Still nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. Now Hicks goes ahead, 2 balls to 1 strike. Here's a fly ball out to left field. This one hit pretty well. Back goes the left fielder, and Darden will make the catch for the first out of the inning. So the Blues starting to hit the ball pretty hard here. First you had Sam Bradley's double, and now Hicks puts a drive on it, but this time it's gloved by the left fielder. So here comes Landon Leonard. Leonard struck out in his first at-bat. Anderson from the stretch with Bradley, the runner, at second. This one down in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, so Bradley will advance to third. Blues finally starting to see some of their base runners moving around the diamond a little bit. I'm sure they're happy to have Patel out of the ball game as he was pitching excellent. Only hit he allowed was that single to Cam Taylor to start the inning. Then they brought in Anderson, and Bradley hit the double. Here we are with a 6-2 score. 1 ball, no strikes to Leonard. Still 1 out, just looking to bring in another run here. We'll go ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. And that's another thing that we heard Coach Joe Austin stressing in every practice was that, this is baseball. This is the team sport of team sports. If you have a job to do, your number 1 priority becomes get that job done. Whether that be a squeeze play, whether that be moving your runners around, there's always a job to do, and he said the guys that are going to play are the guys that do their job. Kind of a Bill Belichick mindset in terms of that. Now a strike on the outside part of the plate. This one just catching the zone. So now 2-2 to Leonard. Catcher Andy Roman stands on deck. He'll be followed by Suever. But for now, it's Chandler Hicks. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to bring Bradley home. The Gol'Diggers have been hitting the ball since the first inning. But again, like I keep saying, it was really the walks that have tormented them. And now a strikeout by Anderson as Leonard takes a hack at that 2-2 pitch, and it's nothing but air. Very important out if you're Gainesville, as you don't allow that run to score. Bradley still sitting over there at third base. Doubled and advanced on the wild pitch. And now here's Andy Roman. Grounded out on a broken bat. Back in his bat in the third inning. And I keep wondering to myself, man, how did Tyler Trish make that play? Piece of lumber flying at you through the air. Never know where that thing's going to land, and then still able to focus up and make the play. So Roman goes ahead 2 balls, no strikes. The shortstop Bryson Suever on deck. But, I mean, plays like that broken bat play just remind you how interesting this sport really is. There's so many different elements and so many different things that could, quote-unquote, go wrong, I guess, in a baseball game. I mean, it's just so dynamic in terms of when you're watching the game, you never know what you're in for. See a team go up 6-0, all of a sudden now it's 6-2. Then you put up 2 more, 6-4. As this pitch gets away, Bradley going to come home, and he slides in safely. So Sam Bradley taking advantage of the wild pitch and snags another run for Atlanta. Looks like we're going to have to reset my scoreboard here as I gave the run to Gainesville. That would not be the case. It is a 6-3 ball game. Even more good news, that was ball 4 as well. So Roman reaches first. And here comes the shortstop, Suever. Now it looks like they're going to send in a pinch runner here. As that's going to be Trey Butler making his way out to first base as a pinch runner here in the place of Andy Roman. So Suever at the plate and the runner Butler at first. 6-3 ball game. So the Blues are doing everything they can to stay in it here. Again, especially in a game like this where most of the opponent's runs have come from plays such as walks, hit by pitches, got a couple errors defensively. I mean, these 6 runs have been really nitpicked, and I think the Blues know that. They know that this could very well be a tied ball game. Especially now that they've seen this offense come alive a little bit. 1-0 on the way is taken for a strike. The throw down to second is not in time, and Trey Butler snags a base. That'll be his first stolen base. Of course, a day of firsts in every category for really everyone out here on opening day. What should be the start of a long and interesting season for these Atlanta Blues. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Suever. This one taken for strike 2, so he'll be behind in the count. Suever, one of the only Blues to reach base up until his last plate appearance in the 3rd inning. Reached on a walk at the time. Didn't end up scoring. Here comes the 1-2. Butler on the move, but a swing and a miss. So Anderson enters the game, and the Blues are able to put up 3. So we've got a ball game, folks. They'll have to play defense and keep the Gol'Diggers right where they're at. 6-3 as we head to the 5th inning here from Atlanta. So we've got a new pitcher here for the top of the 5th inning, as it looks like Logan Bergeron, the right-hander, will take over, and the first pitch is a high drive back to right field, taking back the right fielder, and that was Miles Bowens who made the catch out in deep right field. From this angle, that baseball looked like it was going to fly a lot further than it ended up going. So 1 out here for the Blues. And here comes Jackson Price. It was a Bell that flew out. So 1 out in the inning. And back to the introduction. Logan Bergeron, the right-hander from Canton, Georgia, is going to step in here in inning number 5. Try to shut them down 1, 2, 3, and he's already a third of the way there. First pitch here looks like it might have gotten through the catcher. Might have clipped the umpire there. And he'll take a quick walk out to talk to Bergeron. Meantime, it'll be an 0-1 count to Jackson Price, and let me tell you a little bit more about Logan. Previously played for Bruton Parker College, but is currently undecided for fall of 2024. Went to high school with the Kings Academy, and was Dean's List in his last 3 previous semesters with a 3.7 GPA. I keep saying this, keep mentioning that a lot of these guys are very talented and intelligent student athletes. Also says he could be a professional ping pong player if he wanted to. Uses the curveball here, but leaves it down. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jackson Price. McKenna Peters is on deck, followed by Bohacek. So far, we've seen 3 right-handers today from the Blues. Of course, the left-hander Patel, who started the game for Gainesville, followed by the right-hander Anderson. And despite a 3-run lead for the Gol'Diggers, it's only a 1-hit lead in that category. Only 3 on the board. 2 for the home team Blues. And now a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Jackson Price. Two-seam fastball. Going to miss inside, and the count evens up. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and it's down low for ball 3, so we'll see the first count for Berggren. Granted, he's only faced 2 batters so far. Self-appointed ping pong player is the term that he used. I like ping pong myself, though. Not a boring moment in that sport. As here's one sent deep to center field. A dive, an attempt made by the center fielder. They're going to say no catch, and Price hustling his way into third base, and he will slide in with a triple. Jackson Price sends one to the deepest part of the ballpark, and for a second, it looked like the center fielder, Chandler Hicks, might have come up with it. But I believe they're going to rule that that ball hit the ground, had a diving chance at it.
Extra hitter, McKenna Peters.
But it'll be a runner at third base for the Gol'Diggers with 1 out. And here comes McKenna Peters. Got a hold of that fastball, sent it to deep center field. And again, it looked like the center fielder Hicks might have had a play. Ultimately came up with the baseball, but it hit the ground first. So that'll go in the books as a triple for Price. Rounded to short. Scooped up right there by Suever, and the throw across the diamond in time. So Peters goes down. There's 2 outs now, and the best thing about that is that Price stays put right at third. 6-3 on the putout, and now here comes Bohacek. Singled and scored a run back in inning number 2, flew out in inning number 3. And a first pitch strike, nice curveball catching the zone. So far we've seen the 2-seam, might have been a little bit of a sinker. Depends really on, at least in my definition of a 2-seam fastball versus a sinker, kind of that wrist movement, that rotation per se. But this fastball going to get away, and Price will cruise on home to score the 7th run of the ball game for Gainesville. That's a tough break for the Blues. And they put up 3 in the 4th inning to make it 6-3. And now the Gol'Diggers scoring once here in the 5th to make it 7-3. Especially frustrating after you get that second out on the ground without allowing the run to score. 1-1 count to the hitter Jacob Bohacek. This is low ball 2. Center fielder Jock Walker on deck, so in an ideal world, if you're Berggren, you're getting out of here right now. But he trails in the count. This one missing the zone as well, so Bohacek going ahead 3-1 strike here. Berggren has been able to locate most of his pitches so far. Needs a strike here. Goes up with it and misses the zone. So another base runner aboard for Gainesville. And the Blues continue to add to their walk tally so far.
Center fielder, Josh Walker.
I mean, every inning so far has been stressful for the Blues. because of these walks. Bergeron now going to have to navigate from the stretch. Runner on the move. Roman's throw is high and it skips away. Runner will advance to third base on no throw. So Bohacek steals second. And Roman's throw is bobbled by Suever, allowing the runner to advance another 90 feet. And that'll be officially the fourth error of a game by Atlanta. Not what you want to see defensively. And the errors have not affected this game too much, but again, you never really know. There are other factors to be considered here. This one's going to be grounded foul. Looked like the pitcher Bergeron was maybe waiting for that ball to roll back fair. And Walker said, hey, I'm going to decide to run this thing out anyway. Thought about staying put, but then when he saw that that one was about to roll back fair, he kicked it back into high gear again, but it doesn't matter. Be a ball and a strike to the center fielder. Walker has reached base twice, once on a single and once on a hit by pitch. Fouls this one back. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the center fielder. And if Walker's able to work his way on base, things could definitely get a bit difficult for Logan Bergeron, with Zavala, Trish, and Patterson following him. 1-2 on the way. Misses the zone, ball 2. Walker not biting on anything outside the zone. Walker led off the game, went down on 3 pitches back when Dominic Davis was on the mound. Guess he just had to get kind of warmed up. Has been on base both times since. Still a 2-2 count as he fouls another one back. Bergeron trying to put him away right here. And another one grounded foul. As Walker able to stay alive. Not only extending his at-bat, but forcing Bergeron to throw really what could be perceived as more pitches than necessary here. Putting up a good fight, still a 2-2 count. With Zavala on deck. Bergeron gets the sign from Roman. From the stretch with the runner Bohacek on third. And a swing and a miss as he goes outside with the off-speed pitch. Gets Walker to lean, swing, and miss as we go to the bottom of the 5th. One more on the board for Gainesville as Atlanta is going to try to mount a comeback here in the bottom of the 5th inning. New pitcher on the mound for Gainesville here is going to be Logan Bogue, another right-hander coming out of the bullpen here. Bogue currently attends Middle Tennessee State. He's a junior from Mount Airy, Georgia. And he's going to come out here in inning number 5, the bottom half for Atlanta. They're going to try to put some runs up here like they did in the 4th. Stepping up here to lead things off is going to be Chris Gol'Diggers, the second baseman. Flew out in his last at-bat. 0 for 1 on the day, and on the first pitch puts a ground ball. Charging is the third baseman, and there will be no play. Would have thought that Trish would have fired one across the diamond. Skilled defensively over at third base, but unable to find an answer for the speed of Gol'Diggers. So that'll go down as an infield single. And already the Blues with a base runner aboard. And even better news, Peyton Chase Boynes, known slugger, stepping up to the plate. And we've mentioned multiple times so far. First team All-Sun Lakes playing over at Palm Beach State, and he sends one over in the direction of Trish. Trish's throw is going to pull the first baseman off the bag. An error on the third baseman will allow the Blues to put men at first and second. So we're 2 pitches here into the bottom of the 5th. And already 2 men aboard for the Blues. This one likely going to go in the books as an E5. As that throw brought the first baseman, Tanner Patterson, off of first base. And now here's the right fielder, Miles Bowens. 0 for 2 so far on the day. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. But hey, if you're the Blues, things are looking pretty good right now. Hardier lineup coming up, 2 men on. You got your 9 and 1 guys on, so there's some speed on the base paths. I'd be looking pretty happy if I were Joe Austin, but got to get some of these guys on the move. Strikeout here is not what you want. Seven to 3, Gainesville lead. Logan Bogue, the new pitcher on the mound, delivers a pitch that misses the zone but skips away from the catcher. Gol'Diggers thought about moving up but decided to stay put. Miles Bowens standing in that left-handed batter's box. And now Bogue's going to check on Gol'Diggers at second. Middle infielders playing the shuffle game a little bit, keeping Gol'Diggers close. Another guy that likes to run. Here's the pitch from Bogue, is going to miss inside and miss everything, and both runners move up. So second and third now for the Blues as 2 men are in scoring position with nobody out. Bowens ahead in the count here. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bogue from the set. And this one fouled back. It'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miles Bowens. Bogue ready to deliver. And a swing and a miss. Bowens goes down on strikes yet again, and you can see the frustration on his face. I think that kind of goes back to the whole conversation about just, being able to do your job, being able to get the runs in when you need them. Blues trailing by 4. Definitely need runs here. But here comes Cam Taylor. And you talk about Bowens and some of these guys that are coming back. Bowens last year with a .278 average in the 21 games he appeared in. Now we're going to get a 2-0 count to Cam Taylor, who steps in here. Still a big RBI opportunity. And now ahead in the count, 3-0. Taylor was the first base runner of this game for the Blues back in inning number 1. Took a walk, made it to third base, but was unable to score. Now takes another walk here, this time on 4 pitches. So base is juiced for P.J. Green, who steps up here in inning number 5. Love that walk-up song, by the way. Just kind of sets the tone. Good bass as he walks up to the plate. Looks like the Gol'Diggers are going to have a conversation on the mound here. As Gainesville trying to regain control of this situation. Still only 1 out. So you could end it with a ground ball up the middle. The runners are going to be Gazaldo at third, Boynes at second, and Taylor at first.
Your left fielder, P.J. Green.
Again, for P.J. Green, I said I would take you through it earlier. I mean, the number of accolades that this young man has. 2022 second-team All-State. 2023 preseason first-team All-State. 2023 Region Pitcher of the Year. I mean, the accolades go on and on. Plays both outfield and occasionally pitches. Be interested to see if we see Green come off the mound at any point in this season. Facing a 1-1 count here with the bases loaded. Logan Bogue, who entered the game entered at the beginning of this inning. Gave up the infield single to Gazaldo. Then allowed both Boynes and Taylor to reach base. It was Boynes who reached on the error, and then the walk of Cam Taylor. 2 balls and a strike here. Swing and popped up foul and out of play. Green looking for some hard contact here to hopefully bring in a run or 2. Single could score 2, but if you put one to the wall, we are really looking at a close ball game again. 2-2 coming from Bogue. Swung on the ground. Going to be charged by the third baseman, Trish, and he gets the play at the plate. So Green gets the ground ball, but they're going to get the out at home as Gazaldo is put out. So no 4th run for the Blues. Still looking for their first of this inning. As I got to zoom my camera out back there so y'all can see the play. Apologies for that. And the first pitch going to be grounded foul. A little bit of a tapper right at home plate. For Sam Bradley, who doubled back in the 4th inning, brought in 2 runs. Getting 2 outs here and an 0-1 count to Bradley. Now it'll be 1 ball, 1 strike. Bradley saw a fastball up in the zone right around the letters in his last at bat, and I'm sure his eyes got quite wide as he grounds one over to second. That'll be handled by Zavala, and that'll end the bottom of the 5th inning. The Blues threaten with the bases loaded and less than 2 outs, unable to score a run. Anyway, we will be back here for the top of the 6th and some more Atlanta Blues baseball. 7-3 ball game here at Georgia State Baseball Complex as we're here back for the top of inning number 6. Gainesville looking to continue to add insurance. Logan Berggren looking to say no, sir. It's going to be Zach Zavala, the second baseman, to lead things off. Already been on base 3 times today. Walked in the 4th, walked in the 2nd. Not on base via the error back in the 1st. Faces Berggren here for the first time. Again, you remember back in the last inning, Gainesville had a couple runners on base. Berggren with the strikeout of Jock Walker to conclude that inning. Put us where we're at now. First pitch outside, ball 1. Good news for Atlanta. They've been starting to put a lot more base runners on as of lately. That was not the case back when Sahil Patel was on the mound. Had a great showing. A couple of good strikeouts. Then, of course, Ian Anderson took over, gave up 3 runs, and then we saw Logan Bogue get into some trouble last inning. But Gainesville was able to work out of it. Now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Here to Zach Zavala. Steps up here to lead off the 6th inning. And while this game has never necessarily been close on the scoreboard, again, you look at that hit column. 4 hits for the Gol'Diggers, 3 hits for the Blues. It's been those walks and errors that have made the difference. 3-1 here from Berggren to Zavala. And that'll be high for ball 4. So the leadoff man aboard for Gainesville. And now here's Tyler Trish.
Third baseman, Tyler Trish.
Trish scored a run back in the 1st inning after taking a walk. Struck out in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th. So an 0-for-2 day officially so far for Tyler Trish. Berggren trying to regain control of the strike zone here. On deck is Tanner Patterson. Zavala on the move. Here's the throw down to 2nd, not in time. By the way, worth mentioning, we got a new catcher out there for the Blues. I believe that's going to be Travis Stroud taking over behind the plate. So Zavala snags 2nd. Here's the 2-0 on the way to Trish. Swing and a miss. Great location on that fastball from Berggren. Another one of those pitches with a little bit of inner movement. Kind of started on the outside part of the plate. Trish took a pretty big hack at it. Two balls and a strike. And another big swing and a miss from Trish. Might have went with an off speed there. It'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming from Berggren. And you just by no means want to allow Gainesville to put any more of a gap on that scoreboard. Pitch, runner on the move. Here's a fly ball out to left field. This one's going back at the wall, and it's gone. A home run off the bat of Tyler Trish. A 2-run shot to left field that just kept carrying and carrying until eventually it was no more. So just like that, the Gol'Diggers have once again brought it to a 6-run lead on the home run by Tyler Trish. I mean, at first, I'm thinking runner on the move. Paul Green might be able to go back and get this thing and get it into 2nd for 2, but that is not the case. Still nobody out. And here's Tanner Patterson. taking a strike. Just seems like every time the Blues can get something going, get something positive going, the Gol'Diggers are right there to shut them down. This one grounded deep in the hole at third. A nice snag and a nice throw across the diamond. We'll see if they say Bradley kept his foot on, and they do. Landon Leonard with the backhand and a nice throw on one hop to Bradley. Able to keep his foot on the bag, and there's the first out.
Left fielder, Noah Darden.
And here comes Noah Darden. Blues have some pretty good defenders on this infield. Already seen a couple of nice plays, really from both sides tonight, to keep runners off the base paths, but Gainesville now with 9 runs on just 5 hits. Looks like the umpires are going to converse, maybe to see if they saw something different in terms of Bradley keeping his foot on the bag. I don't know. We'll have to see what they say here. Sure looked like it, at least from this angle, that Bradley was able to keep his foot on, and that's what they will say. So 1 out here in the 6th. Noah Darden stepping up to the plate. One out here in the the top half of inning number 6. Bergen misses outside. And I'm sure that some of these bullpens, especially for some of the guys that have gone today, are mainly going to be working on just finding the zone, locating pitches. Because, I mean, that's been the struggle. Even for a guy like Berggren, who has only issued 1 walk so far, he's just been having a little bit of trouble keeping the ball where he wants it. Still 1 out here in this 6th inning. The hitter is Darden with Eli Perventu, the catcher, on deck. This one missing away. 2 balls and a strike. It actually looks like the Gol'Diggers are going to go with a pinch hitter in the spot of Perventu, as looks like Cole Hariff, the Woodstock, Georgia native, going to come in on deck. Now a called strike, looping curveball from Berggren. Comes back down to catch the zone, 2-2. Now this one fouled over in the direction of the Blues bullpen. So Bergridge, the 3rd pitcher that has gone so far in this game for Atlanta. It went Davis through 1 1/3. Then Duchesne took over. And then we saw Berggren enter the game in inning number 5. 2-2 on the way. And another full count here as that curveball missed low. So a full count to Noah Darden with Cole Hariff, the freshman, standing on deck. Here's the payoff. And that one will miss as well, down and in, and another base runner for Gainesville. Looks like there's a little bit of activity out in the Blues bullpen. It looks like they're going to come out and have a conversation here with Berggren. And again, you trail by 6. You only got 1 out, runner on base. I mean, at this point, there's only really so much that can be said other than let's clean it up, get these outs. Find the zone, as you notice, bringing the whole infield in to have a conversation here.
Catcher, Cole Hariff.
So the meeting concludes. And now here comes Cole Hariff. getting his first look in this ball game, taking the place of Eli Perventude, who went 0 for 1 with a ground out. So Darden at first after being walked. That was the second walk that Berggren has allowed so far. And of course, one away. Swinging a foul back. No balls and a strike to Hariff. Hey, you know another thing I'm looking forward to? Just again, apologies there. My scoreboard seems to have, I don't know what the word is, morphed itself into a new shape. Interesting. But we're back. And a 1-1 count here. Runner on the move. No throw from Stroud as he had to kind of slide to his right to catch that pitch. Be 2-1. You can hear the frogs kind of chirping out in the distance here in Decatur, Georgia. Still close to the city of Atlanta, but I kind of get the feel sometimes that I'm driving out here that it's just kind of separated from the rest of the city. Nice little stadium out here nestled right in South Decatur, Georgia, off of Clifton Springs. Now it looks like it's going to be a full count after that pitch got away. And that means that Darden advances to third. So, full count here to Cole Hariff. Looks like this is outside, and it looks like I was mistaken. 2 balls and 2 strikes was the count. Had a couple moments of confusion so far in this game as far as the counts are concerned. And here's one lined up the middle. Base hit for Hariff, so a 1-for-1 day as the catcher enters and immediately picks up an RBI. It's a 10-3 game, so crooked numbers on the board now for Gainesville. On the base hit by Hariff. So Darden scores. That'll be his first run of the season. Now it looks like we're going to get another change, as it's going to be Harper Davenport, the freshman, to step into the box here in the place of Daniel Bell. Still 1 out here in the inning. So here's Davenport, 6'1", 185 at Kennesaw State, as the runner goes on the pitch, taken for a ball, and the throwdown not in time. So Hariff, the catcher, enters the game, gets a base hit, and snags second base. How about that for the freshman Hariff? Like I said, going to Piedmont College from right here in Woodstock, Georgia, or at least right around the corner. Now 1 ball, no strike count to the batter Harper Davenport. The Gol'Diggers have added an additional 3 runs of insurance in this game, or in this inning. Came into it 7-3. It's now 10-3. And another strike called, 2 balls and a strike. Interestingly enough, still not a large gap in that hit column. Only 6 for Gainesville, 3 for Atlanta. There goes Hariff trying to snag third. No throw, and he's got another stolen base. How about that? Again, I don't really blame Berggren. Not really paying too much mind to the runners on base, but still with 1 out. I mean, you've really got to stay focused as the infield's going to come in here. And there's one grounded right at the shortstop, Suever, who gloves it and fires to first. And they keep the runner at third base. And there are now 2 outs. Still a 10-3 game. The Blues are going to send Hicks, Leonard, and Stroud to the plate in the bottom half of the 6th here.
For Gainesville is number 27, Johnny Smith.
Looks like we're going to get another pinch hitter as Johnny Smith enters the game. Sophomore out of Sewanee, Georgia, attending Young Harris College. There's a strike. So it'll be 0-1. And now 2 outs in the inning after the ground out of Davenport. Big swing and a miss. Berggren ahead 0-2. Speaking of Young Harris, Chase Jackson, outfielder for the Blues, also plays for Young Harris College. Haven't seen him yet today. Very possible we'll see him make an appearance later in this game as we got a 1-2 count now. To the batter, Johnny Smith. One-two coming. And a swing and a miss as he gets it done. So Berggren strikes him out, and that's out number 3. Looks like we got a little bit of confusion as our scoreboard out here still showing 1 out. But that would be 3, and that's going to send us to the top of the 7th inning. Nope, I'm mistaken as well. We headed to the bottom of the 6th and a 10-3 score as Gainesville has been leading in every category so far today. We will be right back. Logan Bogue is still on the mound here for Gainesville. And stepping up to lead things off here is the center fielder Chandler Hicks for the Blues. Put the ball in play twice, but is yet to get on base this evening. Here comes the first pitch from Bogue, fouled back. And again, I'm not saying anything here that I don't think any of you guys don't know, but the Blues have some work to do. But as does every great baseball comeback, it has to start somewhere. In this case, it starts with Chandler Hicks. Finds himself in an 0-2 hole here. And the Blues have shown that they can hit the ball hard. Sam Bradley with a 2 RBI double. We're able to score that 3rd run as well on what if I remember correctly, was a wild pitch. So they have had some opportunities, but pitching has just struggled to avoid the walks and avoid allowing Gainesville to get on base. So with those things being said, I mean, you can see what's happened on the scoreboard. Here's a drive into deep center field. Back goes the center fielder, and Walker will track it down. 1 out here in the inning. It's another ball that the Blues have hit hard, but right into the glove of a Gainesville outfielder. Here comes Landon Leonard. The first pitch, just catching the outside part of the plate. Now it'll be 0-2 after a big swing and a miss. And interesting to see what kind of changes we'll start seeing from Joe Austin here. See if we start seeing some of these bench guys working their way into the game. Still an 0-2 count after that one's fouled back. Again, a lot of talent on this roster. Yeah, Chase Jackson, Julian and Alan Greer, Trey Butler, Jacoby Brooks. I mean, just a lot of talent up and down this roster. A lot of guys that I'm sure we'll get to see on various different occasions throughout the season. And that 1-2 pitch, a nice slider on the outside part of the plate. A swing and a miss and a strikeout. So now 2 away here as Leonard goes down, and here comes Travis Stroud. And you mentioned guys that have come into these games. Andy Roman started the game behind the plate. Now being replaced here by Stroud, who caught the last inning and now comes up here in the bottom half. Takes a ball outside. Travis Stroud, another freshman who's undecided. He's from right here in Atlanta. Left-handed bat. And ropes one foul. And again, as I get to know these guys a little bit better throughout the season, be able to tell you more about their journeys. And a lot of these guys have been all over the country at different schools, all over the state. The point is, a lot of these guys, they continue to pursue their passion for this great sport and have had many adventures throughout that process. And so I'm just personally excited to be able to kind of go on that journey with this team this summer and watch these guys grow closer and just watch them compete throughout the entire season. Even in games, again, just like this one, where you're trailing and you got to find some sort of life. Here's one line down the left field line, but just a few feet foul. Travis Stroud doing a nice job staying alive here, trying to get a good look at one of these pitches. Bogue not going to make it easy. Logan Bogue, in 6'2", so standing relatively tall there on that pitcher's mound, and delivers a beautiful curveball. His breaking stuff has been on point, and that's out number 3. We're through 6 here at Georgia State Baseball Complex, so I will see you all in the top half of inning number 7. back here for inning number 7 as the Blues continue their matchup between themselves and the Gainesville Gol'Diggers. Still a 10-3 game and still just struggling to find that groove offensively. As once again they went down relatively quickly in the bottom half of inning number 6. Looks like we've got another pinch hitter for Gainesville.
Pinch hitting for Gainesville is number 3, Preston Martin.
As Preston Martin enters the game here, freshman from South Carolina. Right-handed hitter. Comes in the spot of McKenna Peters. Big swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes as Berggren continues his outing. Again, Berggren has pitched pretty well, really with the exception of that 2-run home run in the last inning by Noah Darden. Here's the 1-2. Grounded foul. So Preston Martin stays alive. Again, a lot of defensive changes out there for Atlanta. Eric Rodriguez taking over at third. Vernon Clay in at shortstop, I believe, and then a couple other changes. I'll have to get those to you as I get them. 1-2 pitch sails high out of the hand of Berggren. Looks like we've got a new face out in right field. It's Jalen Lucky. And it looks like most of everything else staying the same for now. Stroud still behind the plate. 2-2 on the way. Inside for ball 3, another full count. Berggren was ahead, had him 1-2, now it's 3-2. By the way, Jacob Bohacek remains in the game at shortstop. He stands on deck. Berggren has carried a lot of the load throughout the middle of this game, and it's nice that he was able to come in here and go for multiple innings because, again, I was talking to head coach Joe Austin. As here's ball 4. And he said that, again, their goal here as far as the pitchers are concerned is to help these guys develop, get them some innings, but you don't want to overwork them. And when you play 4 games in a week,
Shortstop, Jacob Bohacek.
if my math is right, that's 36 innings that you have to fill. I say that because with all these numbers flying around, it can get a bit daunting to solve a simple multiplication problem. 10-3 your score. And a fresh count here to the batter, Bohacek. Squares to bunt, the runner's on the move. Throw down to second by Stroud, not in time. The Blues have yet to catch a runner in the base paths, apart from 2 separate pickoffs. If you remember, Dominic Davis picking off a runner in inning number 2, and then Tyler DeShane with a pickoff of his own. One ball, no strikes, with a runner at second base, and that's Preston Martin. Now a 2-ball, no strike count. Jacob Bohacek squared to bunt on the last pitch. Ultimately ended up taking the pitch, but the steal was successful anyway. 2 balls, no strikes. Berggren took a couple looks at Martin before delivering a pitch outside. Looks like we've got a right-hander warming out in the Blues bullpen. We'll see if they decide to make a pitching change here or if they'll let Berggren keep working. Catches the zone with that 3-0 pitch, now 3-1. Berggren in his 3rd inning of work here. And now ball 4. And we'll see if Joe Austin wants to come make a change. Looks like he's conversing with his bullpen.
Center fielder, Josh Walker.
Maybe as to say, hey, this will be the last batter for Berggren. So Berggren will face Walker. First pitch down low, but scooped up by Travis Stroud to keep it in front of him. Martin at second and Bohacek at first, both staying put. And now a 1-0 count as Berggren faces what's likely his last batter in this contest. Again, more good news for us is the fact that we've been able to see 3 pitchers go so far and start to get an idea of how things are going to look moving forward. And I'm sure Joe Austin is thinking the same thing. You know, how can we best utilize the pitching staff that we do have as Walker drives one deep to right field in the gap and down for a base hit. Both Martin and Bohacek being waved around as Bohacek almost catches Martin. Walker on his way to third. He slides in safely. It's a triple for Jaquez Walker. A 2 RBI triple at that, and that'll make it 12-3. Oh, man.
Second baseman, Zach.
And now Zavala will step up, looking to get on base for a 5th time in this contest. For Walker, that'll be his first hit of the game. It's a 2 RBI triple. And now even more salt in the wound as Gainesville now nearing a double-digit lead, leading it by 9 at the moment. Here's a looping fly ball and another base hit. Walker will come in to score. That'll make it a 10-run game, and Zavala picks up the RBI. Gainesville not easing up whatsoever, and still nobody out. (13-3) is your score, and we're here in the 7th inning. And here comes Tyler Trish, who has already hit a 2-run homer in this game. That was against Berggren. So with the runner on first, he's got a chance for another 2-run shot, especially with Berggren starting to tire. Pitch outside, and the throw down to second is going to skip away into the outfield as Zavala stole the bag. So now a 2-0 count and the runner moving up 90 feet. The Gol'Diggers have made a lot of changes to their lineup, at least in the bottom half, but leaving this top half the same with Walker, Zavala, Trish, and Patterson, who stands on deck, all in their same spots. Gol'Diggers now with 13 runs on 8 hits as they increase the gap in both categories. And another hit is a ground ball up the middle off the bat of Trish. Zavala rounds third. He'll score easily. Bradley cuts off the throw in from Hicks, and it's a 14-3 game now. Berggren has now conceded 3 straight hits, a triple and 2 singles. And Gainesville has now scored 4 runs in this inning. And it looks like the Blues will now make a change. So as Tanner Patterson approaches for his at-bat, the Blues will go to the bullpen, trailing by 11 runs here in the top half of the 7th inning, excuse me. We will be right back with you here in just a moment. Don't go anywhere from Georgia State Baseball Complex here in Decatur, Georgia. So it's going to be Jamie Lawrence III, the new pitcher here for the Blues, taking the spot of Logan Bergeron, and an inning that has just continued to put this game more out of reach for Atlanta. Tanner Patterson going to look to do even more damage, and again, despite the fact that this game has lasted so long, or excuse me, that this inning has lasted so long, still nobody out. Trish taking advantage there, snagging second base on the pitch, and a 1-0 count here to Tanner Patterson. The Blues have had multiple points in this game where they could have really made it close back when it was 6-3 with 2 runners on base. Here's a ground ball over to short, gloved by Vernon Gray, and the throw across the diamond in time. Excuse me, that was Vernon Clay snagging that ground ball, and or was it not in time? And again, you get later into these games and things start to get a little bit fuzzy. Things start kind of not necessarily going the way you think they do. And this is one of those situations here as the runner reaches base safely and still nobody out in the inning. So now Darden steps up, and to my point earlier, all 5 of the first hitters in the Gainesville lineup staying put, but a lot of changes in the bottom half. Now runners at first and second. Swinging a high fly ball to center field. Hicks gets under it, and he brings it in for out number 1. So finally, the Blues able to get that first out. Unfortunately, not before 4 runs come across here in the top of inning number 7.
Catcher, Gol'Diggers.
So Trish at second, Patterson at first, and here's Gol'Diggers. Came in and singled. In his first at-bat, came around, stole a base. So Harif trying to make the most of his opportunities. Here's a turn and a pick back to second, but to no avail. This game now approaching the 3-hour mark, and we're still here in the top of inning number 7. Here's one fouled down the left field line. So that'll be a strike on the batter, Cole Harif. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Jamie Lawrence. Runner on the move from second, and no throw from the catcher. So an easy free bag as Trish has now stolen 2. Interestingly enough, Patterson still at first. We'll see what look the Blues go with here, first and third. Still got to play your most fundamental baseball, despite being down by double digits. Here's one sent to deep center field. Back goes Hicks. He makes a nice diving grab. A nice play by Hicks. Tagging from third and scoring is Trish. Patterson moves up to second. And they're going to appeal at third. Trying to say that Trish left early. A heck of a grab by the center fielder, Chandler Hicks. That ball was just kind of sailing away from him.
Right fielder.
And he makes a really nice catch for the second out, kind of tumbling over. Not necessarily a leaping grab, but definitely a really difficult play to make, especially off balance. So 2 outs in the inning. Here comes Davenport stepping in. Davenport in his last plate appearance, grounding out to the shortstop. Down 0-1 here. Runner at second is Tanner Patterson. Lawrence taking a long look at his catcher before delivering the 0-1 pitch. Here's one skied out to left field. moving back to his right and making the catch for out number 3. And again, I believe there might have been a defensive change at the beginning of this inning out in left field, so I don't want to announce the wrong player. Either way, a 15-3 score here from Georgia State Baseball Complex as we take a quick break for our 7th inning stretch. We will be right back with you guys in just a moment. But in the meantime, here's Take Me Out to the Ball Game. By the way, folks, our 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Global Performance Group. Global Performance Group exists to champion excellence in both life and sports. They provide elite sports medicine and personalized athlete development services, taking your game to the next level. They don't just treat athletes, they elevate champions. To learn more about their services or to schedule a consultation, go to their website, performglobally.com, or call 516-996-0048. Again, thank you guys for tuning in here today. Excited to be back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Got a new pitcher here for the Gol'Diggers. Sorry about that brief pause. Just had to get some inside information on our new guy, Kazuto Matsuda. And apparently he just arrived here fresh off the plane from Tokyo 2 days ago. And my good friend had the chance to introduce me to Matsuda, kind of tell me he's got 4 pitches. And again, very excited to make his Sunbelt appearance here, especially on opening day. On the way for the Blues, trailing by 12 runs here in the bottom half of inning number 7. Now an 0-2 count to the batter, Vernon Clay. Clay entered the game defensively in the last inning, getting his first at-bat here. Stepping in, I believe, in Suever's spot. Could be Gazaldo's spot. Pitch is looped into center field and a base hit. So the first batter is aboard here for the Blues. See if they can turn this into a couple more runs here. Yeah, no baseball game is over until it's over. That's one thing I have learned throughout a brief playing career back in high school. And again, the many games that I've had the chance to watch live. And of course, the many games that I look forward to broadcasting to you guys this summer 2024. Now it's going to be Chase Jackson stepping up to the plate, so we get our first look at the young Harris sophomore. And he's ahead in the count 2-0 quickly here. Very close play at first. As Clay able to get back just in time. But a 2-0 count to Chase Jackson. Yeah, Chase is quite a star. Shortstop from Stockbridge, Georgia. Went to Eagles Landing Christian Academy. As we're going to get a pass ball, and Clay moves up 90 feet. Also played varsity football for 2 years. And get this, won a state championship back in 2019. Part of student government. And then a 3-time All-Region baseball player. Jackson takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. So welcome to Atlanta, Chase Jackson. Of course, a Stockbridge native. But welcome to the Blues. Pitch goes way up and in, and Jackson will take it outside, and that'll be ball 4. So Jackson gets the free pass. And with nobody out, the Blues with 2 base runners. And we've seen this script before in this game. Aside from maybe the first couple innings in which they saw very few base runners, the Blues have been keeping things moving on the base paths, just have only been able to turn that into 3 runs. So that being said, Jalen Lucky, the new right fielder from Alcorn State, stepping up for his first at-bat here. But not before the Gol'Diggers are going to go have a conversation with Matsuda. I mean, just talk about, commitment to the sport and dedication. I mean, this dude was on a plane across the country just a couple days ago. And here just a couple days later, you're right in the spotlight. And I know it's a 15-3 game, and I'm sure that that's part of it. You know, you get him out here, get him an outing. Through all these nerves, both runners go, and a throw is going to be into left field. Clay will round and come home to score the 4th run for the Blues of this ball game and takes a tumble behind home plate. Great base running by Vernon Clay to score the Blues' 4th run. And now a little bit even more pressure on Matsuda. So that'll go in the books as an error, I believe, on the throw from the catcher. That'd be Cole Hariff, who's had 2 pretty solid at-bats so far, but now making a defensive mistake. One count. Pitch goes behind the batter. I believe that was a breaking ball. Anyway, Jalen Lucky ahead here, 2 balls to a strike. And they'll take a quick look back at Chase Jackson. And now Jackson deciding to run. This time they have a shot at him. The throw is in time, and Jackson is ruled out. A nice throw this time from Hariff. He was ready on the play. Looks like Jackson thought he was safe, but he'll call him out, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Just a tough break. And now a strikeout as Lucky goes down swinging. And there are now 2 outs in the inning. I mean, it's just, again, you trail by 11 runs. So at the end of the day, you know, you're thinking, again, you just got to make the best of every at-bat, and unfortunately the Blues were unable to do so there. So now we're going to get our first look at DJ Butler here. DJ Butler, the Chicago, Illinois native, currently a senior in college. And this is another guy that has a ton of college experience. Played his 2023 season at Akron. Started 15 games and batted .237 with a homer. Now he takes a pitch off the foot. So he'll get the free pass to first base on the 1-0 count. DJ Butler, another guy that, although not starting in this contest, I'm sure he's going to have quite the impact down the stretch. Again, you look at his experience. Like I said, the time at Akron. First team All-Academic in high school at Simeon Academy. Batted .434 in his high school career. Now stepping up is Julian Greer. So the good news is we're getting a good look at a lot of these guys. Guys that I had mentioned that I had really been looking forward to getting a chance to play. Greer actually in his second year with the Blues. Center fielder from right here in ATL. Graduated from Mays High School. Goes ahead, 1 ball, no strikes, with the runner Butler at first base. And a lot of his teammates say he likes to read. Big reader. And love that. Now goes ahead, 2 balls to no strikes. Plays at Tuskegee University. Started 29 games in each of 2023 and 2024. Take a look at that 2023 season in particular. Hit .309. 2 homers and 3 triples. DJ Butler with a steal of second base. Nice throw once again by Hariff and a nice tag down there by Zavala. But a steal of second will put a runner in scoring position. Greer ahead in the count, 3-0 as well. Takes a strike inside corner. Three balls and a strike to Julian Greer. RBI opportunity here for the second-year center fielder. And takes a pitch outside for ball 4. So now 2 base runners for the Blues. Still only 4 hits across the entire contest for the Blues from Atlanta. Now Jacoby Brooks steps in the batter's box and rips one up the middle. That's a base hit. Butler will round third and come to the plate, and Brooks advances to second. How about that for Jacoby Brooks? No need for an introduction for the outfielder from Fayetteville. He plays at South Georgia State and now officially a member of the Atlanta Blues as he rips one up the middle. Drives in a run. 15-4 game.
Your first baseman, Samuel Bradley.
I would be mistaken again as I'm going to have to reset my runs here. I can make one promise to you guys that I will definitely have this scoreboard figured out by, I'm going to give myself a week. I think, now you know what? I don't know. Let's try to have this down by Wednesday. I'll get a little practice in. Make it as smooth as possible. But for now, it's going to be second and third after the single from Jacoby Brooks. 0-2 count here to Sam Bradley. Drove in 2 of these 5 runs. That was back in inning number 4. Steps up here with a chance to drive in 2 more. Runner at third, Julian Greer. And Jacoby Brooks, the runner at second. 2-2 count now to Samuel Bradley. Credit to the Blues for the way they've continued to hit the ball and try to keep moving around the base paths here. And a curveball catches the outside part of the zone. And Matsuda gets out of it. Only 2 runs allowed. It is a 10-run Gol'Diggers lead as we go into the 8th inning. So, folks, that will do it here from Atlanta, Georgia. I guess we have a 10-run mercy rule here tonight on opening day as the Gainesville Gol'Diggers take the 15-5 lead. They did it with 10 hits. The Blues finished with 5 and 4 errors, with 2 being charged against the Gol'Diggers. Anyway, once again, your final here from Georgia State Baseball Complex, 15-5. Fans, be sure to join us right here live on Wednesday. And for those of you listening in, we should be back on the regular streaming service on Sidearm Sports. You can catch us on the Sunbelt website. But happy to bring this game to you live today from Georgia State Stadium. Again, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Blues fall on opening day. But definitely be sure to join us same time on Wednesday as these two teams match up once again here at Georgia State Stadium. Once again, I'm Jacob Suever for the Atlanta Blues and the entire organization. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and have a safe evening. Your final here, 15-5 from Georgia State Baseball Complex. We will see you on Wednesday.